Hey everybody, and welcome back to Throttle Grotto. This week I'm installing a gift from a viewer. Find out what it is this week on Throttle. Everybody, and welcome back. So this week I want to send a huge thank you to one of the subscribers, Datsun R16. Nick sent me a gift which I've already opened. Couldn't wait to open it, but yeah, it was very humbling to receive this in the mail. But he saw one of my videos and saw how terrible my battery looked in the engine compartment. Check out this shot here. And so he sent me this, and wow, this is such a nice piece of kit. Full aluminum battery tray made by Odyssey to hold the PC680 battery that I have in place. Unfortunately for me, the area where it needs to go is in pretty rough shape. You can see here there's rust there. There's a little bit of rust damage underneath this layer. So, and this is all just because the lead acid style batteries that they used on these cars spilled over and rotted this metal, which was probably rotted already from the factory when they put it in. They didn't have galvanizing and stuff back then. So today I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to make some mounts to hold this in place, ideally right about there. We'll have nice fresh metal, something solid to bolt this to. All right, well, as you can see, I have a little bit more work than I anticipated, which usually happens. I'm going to grab the shop vac and suck all this old... I mean, this is still good metal, right? I can reuse it. It's, still metallic. It probably picks up on a magnet, so I could just glue it all back together and reuse it. Seems logical. All right, so the next step will be to get all this junk out of here so we have nice clean, or something solid to weld to. Alright, so now you can see what I need to replace. And I cut a little bit into the little rubber cap that goes onto the shock here, but that's okay. So overall, not a terrible repair job, but forming these two pieces might be a little difficult, just because there's not much left to go on, and it's a sharp bend here and a more casual bend there. So that's going to be not quite as fun. And this is kind of where it's at inside the wheel well. You can see here there's a pinch weld that they lovingly crafted into place here when they put the suspension in. Just practically used a fender roller to make that curvature there, so it looks real nice. Yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up and throw some undercoating on it to keep it from getting any worse, because that'll also restore this thing. Just a little bit of undercoating. this piece I made didn't fit at all. So I made a new template out of some cardboard, some cereal boxes there, and I got it tacked in. I got a bunch of work I have to go back and do. There's a bunch of this metal down here that's just too rotten to weld to. And right here also I need to make another little patch, cut this out around it instead of just chasing the holes all over the place. But the good news is, so the top piece ended up almost being a perfect fit. So after I weld the nut certs to the bottom of this thing and drill some holes, I'll have a nice place to mount the battery too. Alright, so I've got the inner part done. I've had a little bit of a change of plan here on how I'm going to do the battery tray. But first step is I'm going to tack this thing in, and then I'm going to make a little mount to hold the battery tray. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. Let me get this thing tacked in. Alright, so my neck feels like it was yanked out of my spine and replaced with a solid cable of pain. But it's welded in. I know it could look a lot better, but I don't have professional skills. I'm just a schmuck doing this from home. I am going to dress this down a little bit, and then I'm just going to put some paint through here just to keep it from rusting again. So that's the next step, is to make it look kind of nice, and then we're going to work on the battery tray. So this is what I started with, the cardboard kind of folded over underneath, and after some design changes, I decided to go and weld it directly to the edge here, the chassis leg, and then I'm going to tack it on the sides over here and over here, and then I just put a couple of holes in that will actually, so I can just plug those, and then this thing will be hard mounted into the car, and then I will then I'll bolt the so I know I probably could have done a better job on this stuff here. I gotta weld that up, my little booger with the grinding wheel, but just trying to get this done in a weekend, just get something in here because honestly, once this is in place, you're never going to see any of that. Alright, so I didn't film any cutscenes or anything like that for this job, and my finished work could be a lot better, but we have a fully mounted battery tray. The paint's not quite dry, but I think it's going to be much better than the ratcheting strap that I had holding the battery in before. So let me get the battery and the mount. All right, everybody, the battery is mounted. It's in there pretty solid, I'm going to say. It's got the Allen head bolts there. Sorry, I'm not doing very good with dialogue or filming this video, but thank you so much to Datsun R16. Nick, this is such a nice addition to the engine compartment. And yeah, you forced me to do a little bit of work here in the battery tray area. This is something that I'll probably redo at the time when I take the body off and repaint the car. It's just way easier to do all the detail work and stuff sitting in the engine compartment versus doing it bent over. And it's cold, and I kind of want to get the car running and drive it for a while before I do any weird stuff like pulling the whole car apart. So Nick, Datsun R16, thank you so much for this mount. It's very humbling, very much appreciated. That's one step closer to getting the car done. So I think I have just about everything to do the brakes. I got to look into that this week and make sure that I have everything, and then I'm going to start working on getting these Z32 front brakes put on. So that's what's coming up next for the Datsun. So that's all from me. Until next time, get out there and work on something.